And is there a way you can get this design that you've already started to be approved? Basically, what does a client need to bring to the first design meeting? Do they have to know what they want before they come to meet you, or how does it? What is the worst thing you have seen happen to someone who tried to build without getting the right help? We've seen family getting involved in building. For example, one wants to build a home and they involve their family. Do you think it's a good idea or it's a disaster in waiting? Hi, my name is Liz Makumbo, the CEO and team lead at Vivara Realty, where we connect buyers and investors to high potential real estate opportunities all across Kenya. So we have received a lot of your questions regarding design and build, and that's why today we have Mercy with us to answer all the questions that we have. So Mercy, karibu.
Asante.
Who are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Mercy Nyambura. By profession, I'm an interior design. And through experience, I've learned building and construction.
Before we get into anything else, what is the worst thing you have seen happen to someone who tried to build without getting the right help?
Interesting. Well, apart from the obvious scenarios where building falls, the saddest one is when you find a person saves up, they save for long duration, and then when they start building, the building stops halfway. So the structure is done, then the money is depleted.
Okay.
So you find they trusted the wrong contractors. They did not have a financial budget. So now the money is over and the dream is not yet there.
Actually, that is very common because all around we see buildings and we're just wondering what happened here.
Yes.
Oh, so what is the most common and costly mistake that you've seen happen to someone who has decided to build?
So one is usually, or the biggest we can account is not planning. So you find someone has money, they have land, and then they just start building. So they just, buy materials as they imagine they should. So the lack of planning is what eventually makes it very costly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've seen family getting involved in building. For example, one wants to build a home and they involve their family. Do you think it's a good idea or it's a disaster in waiting?
Interesting. It can go both ways. It can be disaster in waiting and a good idea. So oversight in any case is always good. But what I advise developers and clients is if family members are involved, let them have opinions, but let them not be involved in the financial and the technical bit of building.
Okay.
Yeah, that one, just leave it to the professionals. They can have opinions, they can come and tell you, maybe we didn't like these colors, but let the decision run through the professionals. Yeah.
So we've seen land fraud, rogue contractors, money disappearing. How real are these risks? Or have you seen them happen to real people, like maybe people you know?
As real as last week for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened?
In this particular case, it's the contractor who ran away with the developer's money.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And that happened due to, as I was saying, not planning. So you find that when you have agreements that are not professionally directed or curated, you find that when money is being exchanged, there is no proper documentation. So you cannot follow up what was paid, what was not paid.
What went where, and how the money is not enough.
Yes. So you find if there's no clear direction, the contractor was paid, but the other professionals are not aware. So you don't know who to ask and who not to ask.
Wow,
yes.
That is a tricky situation.
Yes.
Now that you mentioned it, just tell us, what exactly do you do and how do you do it to make sure that none of this happens to your clients?
Yes. So the best way, as I said, is planning. Planning starts by don't skip the professionals, don't skip approvals, that is government procedures, and registration. We have bodies that registrate building. So once you skip those ones, then you're bound to meet
to have a problem.
Yes, to have the problem.
All right.
So the other thing I can add is because by the end of the day, we're talking about investment.
Yes.
So the developer and the client wants the best return of the investment.
Sure.
So I usually say have staged payments or financial payments. So you must make sure that your QS knows what is happening. You must make sure that your contractors are also on the same page. And then you have a clear communication of what is done. So basically, I would say that's where we come in.
So have clarity from everybody involved.
Yes.
All right. So a client comes to you ready to build.
Yeah.
Tell us, how do you start? How is the procedure? Tell us from the beginning to the end.
Well, once a client or the developer comes to me, we first know at what stage they are, because I meet clients at different stages.
Yeah.
So if they're starting to build from the start, then we work with their ideas, then we take them through the design, then we take them through the approvals, and then the building starts.
Oh.
Yes.
So do you take clients who've already started, maybe like you said, maybe they involve the wrong people in terms of financing?
Yes.
You can pick it up from there?
Yes, we can pick it up. So you find the registrating bodies for building have that as a clause.
Oh.
So if you don't have the right approvals from the start, then that will become a problem when you are trying to change contractors and the like. Yeah.
So basically, what does a client need to bring to the first design meeting? Do they have to know what they want before they come to meet you, or how does it work?
Not really. I usually say building is a bit emotional.
Yeah.
So most of the time people have a feeling of what they want to feel. They want a space that looks a certain way, feels a certain way. They want to feel a certain way in that space.
Yeah.
So that is enough. They can come with their ideas, Pinterest boards, communication through their friend group.
Have you ever met a client who is just blank? They just want a home. They have zero ideas of what they want.
Yes, I've met clients who have the money and they just want a home.
How does that go? Do they, at the end of the day, say this is not what I really wanted?
Yes. So if you do not, now when a client doesn't have a starting point of where they want to go, you must create a good, clear path for them. So you can give them options, and that's now where design consultation comes in.
Okay.
So with design consultation, you get to visit them where they are. So you can see from their current lifestyle what is missing, what would they like to carry forward, and then from there you can establish exactly what they would like.
So, Mercy, tell us, how do you take someone's dream or just a vague idea or even a Pinterest photo, as you mentioned, into something that they're going to love at the end of the day?
All right. Interesting. So deep down from training and also interest in design, design becomes more of communication, where you must know how to observe people. So it goes to a psychological point of approach.
Wow. So it's not just design and build.
No, it's not just design and build. So especially if you have a client who, and those are most clients, they have a vision board, Pinterest photos. They've taken photos of things they like and how they would envision their homes. So when you look at those photos, there are those things that are doable and those things that if you did them, they would not like
they
it.
Turn out great.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's important to know our client's current lifestyle so that you can know what to add and what to remove.
Oh.
Yes. Nice. And then now you can merge it with their vision.
All right.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between the 3D design the client sees and the actual working drawings that the contractor builds or builds from?
Okay, interesting. Well, the 3D designs, they are like a vision. It's not yet there, but it's imagined. So it helps the client visualize the space as exactly as they are saying. So in terms of dimensions, in terms of colors, lighting, finishes, textures. So they're able to say, if this is the wood feeling I want, is it mahogany? Is it teak? So they get to see the finishes in real time. And then now the other on the drawings, now those are basically technical for the contractor and the builders on site. So those ones the client doesn't really need.
Oh, so the client comes with the idea, you do the 3D, and then now together with the contractor, you do the actual drawing.
Well, not exactly. So for us, we'll take the role of getting your idea, designing it with you, producing the drawings, and then taking you to the building.
Oh.
Yes. So now we're going to, that the process is not a one-man show. That's the thing. So you find from the design to execution, you're going to have your architects, you'll need your engineers, your structural engineers, your civil engineers. You're also going to need now the contractor who deals with labor and the daily procedures of the site. And then you have other people like supervision. You need a QC, that is a quality control. And you also need a clerk of works, very important. They're able to tell you what is happening on site. And of course, your QS, who make sure that the budget is as it was described.
It takes a whole village.
It actually does take a whole village. Actually, that's what you find when people are making a mistake. They have excluded someone in the train. Yes.
Mbele is where now repercussions come.
Yes. So you always, when you see a building that has faults, you can always see who was skipped. Yes. Either they did not go with the architect's designs, either they skipped some structural elements, either there was no quality control, there was no supervision. Especially supervision is a really big deal because now you'll find all these people are not on site every day.
Every other day.
So the person on site is your contractor. So if you're not oversighting, then you get all these errors we see.
So Mercy.
Yes.
What legal approvals are needed before construction can begin? And who handles all these approvals for clients?
Interesting. So legally you need county approvals, and under that you have the architectural approvals, then you have the structural approvals, and then depending on your scope of work, you need the environmental, that is NEMA.
Okay.
Yes. So those ones are a must for you to build. And then depending on where the client is, we help facilitate the approval process.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Okay. So what happens to someone who starts building without maybe proper approvals in place, maybe that NEMA that you've mentioned?
The common and the most immediate thing is the stopping of the building. So you find, I'm sure you've walked around and you've seen X's.
Yes.
So you find,
So that means maybe one approval was not
100%. It means they have skipped something.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll find, and there's nothing as bad as having that on your building.
And
so the building stops. You have hefty fines, which are usually like 3 times the cost of you having done the approvals
from the beginning.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And there's also where you can't now proceed with the same design. You have to start
it was
over.
Not approved.
Exactly. Yeah.
And is there a way you can get this design that you've already started to be approved at that particular point?
It depends on what point of approval you have skipped.
Okay.
So if you have the architectural and the structural, then your design still remains.
Okay.
But now if you don't have the other regulatory bodies, like the NCA, the NEMA, the county approval, then you have to, so now those ones will be fines. Yeah.
Oh, so they can proceed, but
yes, you can proceed,
they pay
but
the
you'll be fined.
So we have talked about the horror stories you've experienced. We've talked about designing the home. Now, on breaking ground and building, let's say the ground is broken. Who from your team is on site and what does each person do?
Okay. So during groundbreaking, the team that is supposed to be on site, you need your architect to confirm the drawings.
Yeah.
You need your structural engineer to confirm that the structures are being put in the right way as the designs.
Yeah.
And your contractor, of course, because now the contractor is the one in charge of labor.
Yes, to direct now the mafundis.
And then now the person you'll find from our team, you'll have the clerk of works and you have the QC. Yeah, so now those ones are independent to ensure that everyone involved in the team is implementing as they ought to.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would believe this is where most developers and clients lose it, because you find the architect is independent, the structural engineer is independent, the contractor is independent. Yes, so you find there's contention, and then everyone is doing their own thing, and there's no one doing quality control. So when you have our guy who's basically doing overall project management, ensuring that everyone is playing as my next
question, because I was wondering now who is going to manage all these people to cooperate.
Yes.
Also, you need a project manager.
Now that's where we
So
come
does
in.
this apply even if you are building just maybe one home for you to live, or?
Yes, it does. Even if it's a renovation. Yes, as simple as just doing simple renovations.
Because everybody has to cooperate.
Yes, and the thing is, since it's not a one-person job, you'll always have subcontractors. You need the supplier who supplies one thing is not the same as the other. And the last thing a client or a developer wants is to be the glue for everyone. So we make sure that the client can just, provide the finances and they can be able to observe their development and receive the return of the investment.
Thank you for that, because I was going to ask you, once construction begins, what does the client need to do on a day-to-day basis until now the completion?
Sit back, just relax, watch the daily...
Pay and enjoy.
Yes. So I usually say once you bring us into your project, you don't have the stress of, are they stealing from my site? Are they going to supervise? Because we make sure you receive daily and timely ongoings on the site. So you have daily reports, you have pictures and videos, and you have reports from everyone who's playing, who's a player in the construction, and you have reports from your suppliers. So you're able to observe everything basically just from your phone.
Oh, so this is how the client's money is protected.
Yes, 100%.
Through the reports and maybe images, or they can just walk in and see the progress.
Exactly. And then it also helps in payment, because now you don't pay for things you don't see.
Yeah.
You don't pay for work that has not been done. So if the contractor says that today we are raising 4 walls, and by the end of the day, we will be able to show you that indeed 4 walls were raised. Yeah.
And how do you keep your client informed in control of what is happening? Just what you've mentioned, how do you keep them informed?
Well, data. I usually say data never lies.
Yeah.
So once you have a person on site, it's basically an 8 to 5 job. It's not 2 hours you come in and then...
It's not a part-time job.
Nope.
Okay.
Once the contractor and the builders get on site, our representative also is on site to ensure they document everything, where materials are there, who supplied, what work has been done, how many people are on site, what is being done. So you're able to have that documented in a well-done format. So basically create systems where everyone who's playing in the construction is able to interact with less confrontation and friction.
Yeah. So let's say a relative wants to manage, or maybe a client suggests a relative to manage this build. What do you say to this client? Or have you ever had such a scenario?
Yeah, I think Kenyans are basically notorious with that, with wanting family to just pitch in and do something. So from the beginning, I usually make it very clear to the client, you have brought us in as a professional outlook and oversight to your side. So if you bring in relatives, they cannot, how can I call it? They cannot oversight in terms of technical and financial decision. They can give opinions, but not to the point where they influence the decision making. Yeah. So when it reaches a point where now, because this point can reach, where now you find they really want the relative to be part of it, then you have to sign and let go, because now liability.
Because if something goes wrong, you'll be the one to be blamed.
Exactly.
What if maybe the client is abroad and they want all the reports to be sent to this relative?
No problem. The reports are open, they're shared. So what we tell the client is, you can share it with them from your side.
Or you deliver to your client, then they can share to whoever they want.
Share to whoever they want.
Okay. So realistically, how long does a project take from the designing to the end?
For a residential house, let's say maybe 3 to 4 bedroom, it would take from 3 to 8 months, and also depends on few factors, like the materials being used. Like today we have many smart technologies where you can easily put the structure in a very short time, as opposed to the old technology where you have to build, wait for days. So we have that. So depending on what they're using, and things like weather is also something that affects how much time it is. And of course, the common one is finances.
So Mercy, what are the most common reasons that a build goes over budget or maybe stalls? And how does your team prevent this?
So the biggest reason is we have poor planning. We have constant design changes. We have underestimating costs, where you find whatever was quoted does not go with what is on the ground. And of course, you have poor choice of contractor. So you find those are the main ones that make a building stall or never get finished.
So on this point of quoting and what is on the ground, whose fault is it really?
Mostly we usually say the client most likely went with the cheapest person who quoted for them. And when you find cheap quotation is because the person quoting wants to just get the job. So
not necessarily to satisfy.
Exactly, not to do quality work per se. So you find once you get that quotation, which most developers or builders would do, you will just go and start buying the materials based on that quotation, or start building, imagining that would be the actual quotation on the ground. And then you find it's probably double. So from us, how do we help a client ensure that does not happen? Is from the start, proper planning. So we make the client or the developer understand that all these people are necessary for you to get the best return of your investment. If you skip on one, then you are going to pay for them at the end of it. If you skip on a good contractor, you're going to have poor builders, you're going to have subcontractors who are going to do shoddy work, and workmanship is going to be bad. So you'll find you skipped on the planning, but the cost will be on the finished product.
Now on to the handover and what comes next. The building is complete. How do you hand over now the house to the client?
All right. So once the building is complete, the handing over is you give if there's any warranties. There's also completion certificates. And then you also can give details on maintenance. And yes, then you let the client enjoy their space.
Oh, wow. Speaking of warranty, who gives this warranty and like how long can the warranty go?
Once you get the approvals, regulation bodies like NCA, they ensure that whatever is being built is up to standard. So you can best be assured that your building will stand the test of time. So the warranties come if you have electronics, if you have a smart home, so if you have fittings and fixtures that need manufacturer's instructions and the like.
What about the certificate? Who gives this certificate that you just mentioned?
The completion certificates are given. You'll find the NCA, you have the architect, the structural engineer, because now they have to say that indeed I approve that the building was built to standard. And you also have the MEP, you have the electrical and the plumbing. So, for example, electrical, you need certificate so that now the Kenya Power or whoever is powering your space can now come and proceed. So you have such certificate.
When you are handing over the house.
So during handover, we check the spaces. Each space, does it serve the purpose? We check the finishes. Does the finishes, are they up to par to what was expected? We check specifications, that is the designer's details to the builder's implementation. We check quality. If the finishes are done, were the finishes up to specification? And we also check workmanship.
Does the relationship between you and the client end after the handover, or what support do you offer the clients?
No, it doesn't end after that because there is maintenance where and tear happens. You have fixes that you need to call back your contractor to assist. You may have renovations. You may have styling. Now you want to style your home. And of course, referrals.
For a client who builds and wants to sell, how do you help them, or how does a company like Vivara Realty come in?
A well-designed home and a well-executed home is increases the market value. So you find once we ensure a home is well built, then Vivara helps connect to the client. Because if it's not well built, then there's no you're going to advertise it.
For sure. If you didn't know, that's what we do. We market and we link you up to the best home of your dreams. So what kind of return can someone realistically expect from building and selling or from buying a ready house from a developer?
I usually say if you're going to build yourself, you better use the right professionals or you better use the right development support. Because if you do, then you find that your building is going to be almost 3 times cheaper. But on the other hand, if you don't have the time or you're not available, then of course, buying a ready-made will also do. So for a developer, it's very advantageous.
So on to our last question. Someone maybe is watching right now and they want to design and to build their own home. What is the one thing they should do?
Call us.
Nice. Then give us your number.
My number is 0715 118 344.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
And if you'd love to reach us, maybe to buy already developed projects, or maybe more questions that you may have regarding this, call us on 0708 300 718.